Hello, I'm Zan, and it's Monday here on Diary of a Gender Fluid. So, recently my parents have been going to PFLAG, which is basically a group where people go to talk and, figure things out and support their family members who are queer. I did not picture my parents, having that as a thing that they would do. It seemed like something that they wouldn't do. But my aunt told them one day, that I wanted them to do it, and then they were like, okay. So they've been going. I think they've gone like 2 or 3 times. It's once a month. And about a month ago, I was in the car with my parents, and they were talking to me about something that had happened at PFLAG. So they had met a parent whose kid was AFAB, which is assigned female at birth, and then had gone on testosterone and was identifying as a trans man. But then the kid realized that they're really non-binary, so then they got off of testosterone and started going by they pronouns. And my parents were just telling me about how confused that kid's parents are and how confused my parents are about the situation that they were talking about as well. And so because we were in the car, we had a long time to talk, I explained to them some common reasons why something like that type of scenario goes down. So I figured I would share them with you as well. I am filming this a week before I post it because it's finals week and I only just have a little bit of time right now and not enough time to edit and upload. So by the time this video does come out in 7 days, I will actually be 20 years old as of one day, but right now I'm still 19. And by the time this video comes out, I will also have no hair because I'm doing a fundraiser on Friday. I'm gonna shave my head and donate the money to help research for childhood cancer. So anyway, this situation is something that's actually pretty common, and I think a lot of it has to do with the false binary that we live under. So basically what happens is you got an AFAB person, and they start identifying as trans because they realize, wow, I'm not a girl. Well, there's girl, and then there's boy. If I'm not girl, I have to be boy, right? That's what that means. If I'm not a girl, then I'm a boy. But the only problem is, that's not true. And I actually have a book right here that illustrates what I'm talking about, although this one is about sex, not gender. So it's about intersex people, but the same idea of the false binary exists in sex as it does in gender. So on the back of this here, it says sex. And the boxes you can check are male or female. So the top of here, male, female, or none of the above. So basically what happens is that people get it into their head that there is this binary, that there's only boys and girls. So what'll happen with these people is they realize they're not a girl. They're like, wow, that must mean I'm a boy. So then they'll start identifying as, trans, binary trans. And then later on they realize that there's such thing as non-binary people. People who are not boys or girls. People who are neither. People who are both. People who fluctuate. And a lot of different combinations of gender. And all of this exists, and so now there's a whole spectrum. If someone realizes, oh, I'm not a girl, it doesn't mean I must be a boy. It means I could be any of these things. There is so much. And so then that person realizes, yes, I know I'm not a girl. I've known I'm not a girl. But I'm also not a boy. So then they see this world around it and all the non-binary identities a person can use to identify how they feel. And this is where a lot of confusion comes in for people outside of the community as well as in the community. Because it makes it look like we're all just, being super indecisive, but really it's because of the way society presents gender as just the two things, they say the opposite gender. Well, there's no such thing as the opposite gender because that implies that there are only 2 of them. So that's a really common reason for why somebody would be AFAB, start identifying as a man, and then realize, nope, I'm non-binary, and start using they pronouns. It's actually pretty common.
I did the thing again, didn't I?
My date makes home. But this is only one of the many reasons that this happens to a lot of people. But anyway, regardless of reasoning, whatever you identify as at a certain time is always valid. So if you had identified a certain way in the past, but you don't identify that way anymore, it's still valid. It was still something that you experienced. It's just that now you are experiencing something different. That's what happens with life. Things change. Alright, so that's what I gotta say on that. I'm Zan, and I'll see you next Monday.